Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is the fourth episode of the story, where things go wrong during the last Sasuke retrieval mission, and Naruto is blamed. Tired of everything being his fault, he creates a new way of thinking that contradicts every belief he once held. The issue is that not everyone appears to be thrilled with the change. To show your support, like and subscribe. Let's get this show going. Naruto woke up the next day, thinking about the mission with the so-called snake mistress that happened to be invading his constant thinking since the second part of the Chunin exams. As he got through the morning ritual, he turned to pack for the somewhat long-term mission, being this situation the most frightening for Naruto, the reason being to be alone with the Kakashi Anko, and if Kakashi was right, Naruto was certain that the mission would be far from boring or annoying. The look Naruto received from the Tokubetsu Jounin back at the Chunin exams was filled with second intentions, and he knew from Kakashi what she's capable of, if given the chance. But, Naruto was caught wondering about what would be like, actually to a point that he kind of enjoyed thinking about it. Another thing Naruto was thinking was the age difference. She is 25 years old and Naruto was 16, 9 years of difference. Why would a Jounin like herself want with a recently promoted Chunin? For sure, he knew that he showed to her something she wasn't expecting, which, assumed Naruto, was the main cause of Anko's looking directly at his eyes the way she did. Little to Naruto's knowledge, Anko actually was drooling over the Chunin's appearance, thus the fact that somehow Naruto just practically exhaled gusts of experience from his body. To Anko, she felt that Naruto was 10 years older. Those aspects did to Anko what every fangirl had with Sasuke. As he got out of his house, he went to the meeting point that the Hokage told him to get to. With Anko for her part also did her morning routine. She was pondering on the mission, since it involved Orochimaru, her late sensei and the one who practically ruined her life for good. After she was rescued by the Anbu searching squad some time ago, she was transformed into a sadistic person, gaining snake-like personalities, hence the fact that she cut Naruto's cheek once and used her tongue to taste Naruto's blood like a reptile, before devouring his enemy. As she was finished dressing, she remembered her partner on this mission, the one and only Uzumaki Naruto. Now, the blonde Chunin certainly was an enigma to her. Just 3 years ago, he was an obnoxious brat who didn't know how to settle down. Now, Naruto changed in a way that she was actually having troubles viewing that the new Naruto, who she believed was strong, determined, experienced, was once the little brat that literally got into her nerves quite easily. But also there was the feeling she couldn't let go of it. It started when she sensed that strong yet extremely sad aura emanating through the village. She still wasn't sure it was the Gaki, but somehow inside her, she didn't need to look for other clues or facts. She knew that the aura was being emanated from Naruto, and besides Anko did manage to certify the aura's bloody red color. To Anko was actually worse than poison, since even though it not attack the body directly, it attacks the one part which makes us human. The heart. At the Dango place, Anko arrived at the Dango place, which is where she wanted to meet her co-workers when on missions. This place was her sanctuary, her place in Konoha. Dango was the only thing capable of changing her mood completely. Every time, after a tough mission, she came almost wanting to cut some flesh and managed to get out with a smile practically visible through her face features. To sum it up, Dango to Anko was like ramen to Naruto. As she ordered the usual, which consisted on a portion of dango and tea, sake at night, she noticed that someone arrived the place. But said person wasn't just anyone, said person had blonde hair, deep and exhilarating blue eyes, and the most noticeable and indistinguishable feature. Fox-like whisker marks now much defined than ever, giving him an air of an untamable beast, which made Anko smile, simply because such a feral look actually turned her on. For Naruto's part, as he arrived, he noticed the person that was pretty much rending his thoughts since the Chunin exams. Mitarashi Anko. As he was walking towards her direction, he turned to study her features. Naruto was secretly seizing her up, and he got to admit, she was so damn beautiful. Everything about her was just wonderful. Her hair, her devious smiles, which Naruto realized that they were the same since back at the Chunin exams, the way she dresses was simply amazing. Her trench coat and Anbu leg protectors gave her the look of remarkable and well-respected seasoned Anbu kunoichi, and the damn sexy features managed to put Naruto into a frenzy state for a second. Deception was indeed a ninja's great asset, and if Naruto still showed that he was looking at her like that, she would discover the whole ordeal, which was something he didn't want. Already calming himself, he managed to see such a smile being formed, and he could do only thing: play the same game. Seeing the lack of need of prolonging the looking confrontation, Anko turned to speak to the blonde Chunin, by addressing him quite differently. "It seems you're late there, Foxy? I arrived here a couple minutes ago and already ordered." Naruto for his part, after hearing the way Anko just called him, entered in thinking mode. Foxy, what's up with that? Wait, that sound very good. What's with the Foxy thing now, Anko-san? Asked Naruto, trying to sound as professional as possible, but Anko smiled seeing that he seemed to enjoy the nickname, which came as a surprise to her, considering the fact the Nine Tails should be a though subject for her, just as her curse seal and the snake Sanin, but to her surprise, he was smiling at the name. What, you did like it, didn't you? I can see in your eyes that you liked it. Well, I did like it, but it's the first time I heard though, no big deal. Said Naruto, still smiling towards the snake mistress. After that, he ordered some dengo for him, which earned a question look from Anko from seeing Naruto not eating other than ramen, but when she questioned him about it, he said that he didn't always eat ramen like he did in the past, but later Anko learned that the real reason Naruto only eat ramen was because old man Tucci was the only one who charged him fairly and even gave him free meals on occasions. After a quick shared meal, both ninjas passed the south gate in direction to Orochimaru's last hideout, in order to retrieve the document containing forbidden jutsu studies, therefore, completing their assigned mission. Well, by seeing both of their faces, it was quite comical to realize that no one wanted to say the first words, and also both of them were somewhat blushing, which could pretty much guess that inside, each of them would imagine the other naked or doing something arousing to say the least. Anko, being the pervert that she was, sometimes in private, sometimes just to tease her friends, was imagining Naruto naked massaging her neck with extreme efficiency, thus whispering some dirty talk through her ear. Naruto, for his part, was actually having some perverted ideas as well, hence the fact that during his travel with Jiraiya, he tried to read one. Naruto's mind was imagining making out with her quite passionately, while ripping each other's clothes, pretty much letting the hormones take its course. Since Naruto was slightly ahead of her, none of them could spot the other's nosebleed at the thought. The ninjas would have to face a 3-day travel, so silence wouldn't help at all. They would get nervous on the mission and it wouldn't be recommended. This idea passed through their minds as well, but the first image on their heads just didn't vanish, so in result no one could turn and initiate a conversation. Anko was top of all, feeling somewhat strange. She never felt in such a way towards a man, and all those times she came to tease everyone, she did as a way to scare the hell out of people by thinking of her sadistic nature, which existed, but not in the way she showed when teasing people. The blonde in front of her was causing such reaction on her and she was starting to worry about it. The last time she let a man be welcome to her life, she got the curse seal as a result and became known as the snake lover, snake bitch, snake slut. Every bad nickname people could associate with snake, she would be called by it. She just didn't want to be betrayed again. Now scratch that, she couldn't live to feel the same way again. Since that day the curse seal was a very well reminder of how much she suffered that day. Finally, after 2 hours of jumping and not saying anything, which was irritating both of them, since no one apparently was able to form an actual sentence, let alone open his or her mouth so that a word could manifest through it. Finally, Anko was able to talk, silently thanking the mission for providing at least professional conversation between the two of them. "It's getting dark, let's set out camp for today, Foxy," said Anko, still looking forward, not knowing if she was doing that to avoid eye confrontation or something else. "Okay, then," said Naruto, letting out his breath that he was somewhat holding in anticipation over being alone with such a woman. Sure, Anko was beautiful, to Naruto she was more than that, but now they would be alone with each other and he was slightly nervous, practically feeling like on a date. After they stopped, each of them set for the specific tasks. Anko stopped to fix the tent, while Naruto was in charge of collecting wood and picking some water near a river a few miles from the place they stopped. As Anko finished with the tent, Naruto appeared with some wood for fire and a full water bucket for them, dropping them on the floor between 2 logs, being perfect for camping issues, and they didn't need to sit on the floor. Since Naruto did not know Kadenjutsus, he turned to Anko if she would be so kind as to light the fire for them. Anko for her part was shocked that now famous Uzumaki Naruto didn't know any Kadenjutsu, and when she asked why he didn't learn one, seeing that Kaden element is Fire Country's landmark. Little did she know that Naruto's answer would cause her to see him with different eyes. Even though Kadenjutsu is on the list to learn eventually, having a stronger affinity for Fuuden and weaker affinity with Suten, pretty much made me unique throughout Konoha, with only Sarutobi Asuma other than me, being a wind user," said Naruto, smiling with pride in his eyes because of his rare affinities. Anko, after hearing the exquisite answer from Naruto, smiled understanding. Elements such as wind were rare to appear in Konoha, and right now only 2 ninjas were wind users, Naruto and Asuma, so because of it, such abilities were feared because of little to no knowledge on how to beat a wind user. But she remembered that he did wish to learn Kadenjutsus, So she decided to teach him, not only to improve his jutsu arsenal, but also to spend some time with the guy who by the way keeps sending sexy images through her head, not that she minded though, being who she is. As they were talking, Anko was beginning to feel hypnotized by the beauty of his deep blue eyes. Normally she didn't like the regular uniform of Konoha, but strangely, she thought it suited him well, and since the rubber blouse stuck to his body, Anko could very well spot his muscles and toned body under it. But what intrigued her to no end, was how a guy like him could change so much. It seemed like yesterday, that he was this annoying kid with a happy smile, and now this sexy powerful man. "Say, Foxy, how did you manage to change so much in such a short period of time?" asked Anko, waiting to know more of the blonde fox. "Well, it all started when I, Sakura and Anbu Captain codenamed Yamato was returning from a mission involving the Uchiha's retrieval. The mission was a complete failure and everyone in the team was blaming me for everything. A certain person appeared, changing the mission's course entirely, and I ended up channeling the Kyuubi's chakra in order to fight the guy. To sum it up, all I did was get tired and wasn't much help with the rest of the mission. Actually, I was carrying the hate of almost everyone in Konoha mistreating me and underestimating me. Once Yamato and Sakura blamed me for everything, that was the slap in the face I needed to wake up and realize that I needed to get stronger and not depend on the Kyuubi." Anko was listening intently the mission description and wondering why the hell they blamed him for the mission failure. She knew that certain Shinobis could actually go toe-to-toe with a Jinchuriki, but to imagine an Anbu captain like Yamato blaming him, it was ridiculous. But she chose not to go through with such mission, since Naruto seemed pretty down about it, so she just let him talk. "After that, I requested time to practice for the Chunin exams so that I could train with my affinities and cover some areas I was having trouble with. For the third part, Kakashi-sensei taught me some Doden techniques and Kenjutsu together with a friend of his from Anbu." Anko, after hearing this, was surprised to say the least. Images from his fight at the Chunin exams now were showing inside her head. "I see, that fight was pretty amazing at the Chunin exams, Foxy. Now, you're a Chunin. A very handsome one as well. Then what?" Anko and Naruto continued their conversation, with Naruto sharing the reason why he wanted to become a part of Anbu's special forces, and to say that Anko was surprised, it was an understatement. When Naruto told her that he wanted to be below the curtains, protecting Konoha with the Anbu mask, she was trying to remember the very same person aspiring to be Hokage like 3 years ago. But after he explained why, Anko understood that because of Naruto's burden, he wouldn't have the respect or the admiration that came with the Hokage position. In fact, Anko understood that most than anyone, because of her damn curse seal. Anko knew she was knowing Naruto like he was inside. Naruto was still remembering those days when he was cursed by everyone that made contact with him, but differently from before, Naruto was smiling instead of being angry, scaring Anko a little bit. Mental stability was tough to maintain after seeing some things, and Anko knew very powerful Shinobis dead by becoming mentally unstable. But after looking intently at the blonde, she relaxed, knowing that the Kyuubi inside him made him see worse than anyone, and if he survived until now, it would be very unlikely that any event would make him unstable. After a while, Anko realized that if they didn't rest, tomorrow would be one hell of a time to do the mission. So, she decided to call it a day and say Naruto, good night. Anko couldn't sleep. She knew she had feelings for the fox, but it was something more. Her feelings for him were getting stronger. Naruto opened his heart for her and showed her what a true ninja is. Deep inside, she wanted to be close to him that night. Being the straightforward that she is, she went to see how he was doing. When she arrived at Naruto's tent, she was surprised to see that Naruto couldn't sleep as well. When she asked, he smiled, saying that he was wondering about their talk a few minutes ago and the fact that when he was talking, he felt like Anko could understand what he went through. "I think we had similar pasts, Naruto. I presume you already know about Orochimaru and myself." Anko then got to talk about her troubled past for the first time since the Sun Daime, and she was feeling much lighter as the time went by. Naruto understood everything and right now was seeing Anko differently. Gone was the sadistic bitch who seemed to enjoy the view of blood coming out of flesh wounds. This Anko was the fragile Anko who didn't want to come close to anyone, fearing that just like her sensei, she would be betrayed yet again. After she shared her past and the way she coped with all of it, she turned to ask him how did he came in terms with such a horrible past. "With time, I guess. I was born alone. The orphanage was hell for me. Even when Sandaime bought me an apartment, my life wasn't any different. But after some time, I stopped asking myself as to why I was hated. After I managed to graduate from the academy, Iruka-sensei and Kakashi-sensei pretty much saved me from myself, teaching me that not everyone behaved like that. Then Jiraiya, even though the old bastard didn't taught him anything, doesn't mean that he didn't befriend him. Shikamaru, Tsunade-sama and Neji. They became close friends of mine. And now you, said Naruto, smiling towards the snake mistress, earning a look of surprise from her. What about me, Foxy? I don't know why, but it seems that I can't stop thinking of you, Anko-san. Since our encounter at the second part of the Chunin exams, I was caught wondering about you. Now that we are talking, I can't stop thinking how much we have in common, and such feelings I have for you is different from the others, said Naruto, now looking down so as to wonder the repercussion of such words towards Anko, but unbeknownst to him, Anko was actually feeling the same way towards him. Is that a fact, Foxy? Is it possible that you have feelings for little old me? I'm flattered. You do realize that I am almost 10 years older than you, right? Asked Anko, teasing the blonde on the outside, but on the inside was in turmoil. She thought about him constantly, but the problem was the age gap. She didn't want to fall for him just for age to come bite her in the ass, saying that such things do not intend to happen. It doesn't matter to me that you are older than me, you've been in my mind constantly and we have so much in common, mumbled Naruto, earning one of the first genuine smile coming from Anko that even she didn't remember the last time she smiled like that. The reason was simple. Anko wanted to be with him, but she was afraid that Naruto wouldn't like her because of the age. Foxy, I'm going to let you on a little secret. I happen to love whisker marks, said Anko, initiating the teasing competition between her and the #1 prankster of Konoha. Oh really, Anko-chan, I got to say you don't look so bad yourself, Anko-san, said Naruto, showing his evolved prankster side, which to experienced teaser like Anko it meant like you're hot. I gotta tell you, Naruto, that new looks of yours really suited you. Actually, Foxy, I feel very lonely on my tent, so you wouldn't mind if I sleep here with you, would you? I'd like the company, you know? Sure, but I'm not responsible for what happens, said Naruto, smiling deviously, turning her on a little bit. Anko for her part was enjoying the teasing immensely. She never found anyone who could tease her just as much as she teased him, and that very fact alone earned some more perverted images inside her head. Tell you what, Naruto-kun, when we come back, we'll have some good time together. Sounds good to me, Anko-chan, I'm actually looking forward to it. Now, let's rest a little bit, we have a timetable and if we speed things a little, we can have an early date, said Naruto, lying down with Anko following him before nodding in approval of his idea. Naruto and Anko had their best sleep ever in their lives and woke up a little late. On the next day, the sun was sending a wake-up call to the sleeping couple, by illuminating inside Naruto's tent. They didn't want to think of waking up and pass the moment they were giving. Naruto was sleeping with face looking up and Anko was lying on Naruto's chest, and a smile could be seen from a great distance on her face. Even though Anko had a different thing in mind for the blonde, she enjoyed a lot sleeping with him, which proved that this wouldn't be a one-night stand. Quite the opposite, in fact. Unfortunately, for them, they had to wake up, because of the mission. Since Naruto woke up first, he went outside to prepare some breakfast. After some time, Naruto came with a bottle of water inside the tent, but when he entered he came upon a scene of a happy sleeping Anko. She must be dreaming about something nice, I wonder if it's me. Anko for her part was dreaming about her and Naruto near Wave Country, just lying down on the beach, enjoying the time spent together. When the sunlight entered her tent, she woke up feeling somehow better. It was like she slept the whole day, even though they only slept for 3 hours. Anko was lying down thinking about what just happened. The cuddling, his chest was so warm and cozy. Anko was remembering a specific fact when they were sleeping, that Naruto's arm was hugging her and she felt comfortable in his arms. A few moments later, with breakfast taken, both packed their things and started jumping from trees to trees. They were a little bit behind schedule, nothing like Naruto's little exercise to help things out a little. Foxy, we have to speed things up a little, if we are to arrive there on time. Don't worry, Anko-chan, I have an idea. It's something I used to get to the tower at the second part of the Chunin exams. What is it? Asked Anko, now amused with the fact that Naruto's team beat the old record the Suna siblings made 3 years ago. Chakra-enhanced jumping. It's very simple really. For every 2 hours traveling, the next half an hour we channel chakra on our feet and increase speed dramatically. Kakashi-sensei said to only use this exercise when your team or partner have the same amount of chakra as my own. Due to the fact that you're a jounin, I don't think you'll have trouble doing that. It's also a very good exercise for chakra control and raise the ninja's chakra capacity, said Naruto, making Anko question if Naruto was actually mentally unstable since birth. Yes, if the ninja don't pass out from chakra exhaustion. Both of them were traveling for 2 hours. They did just what Naruto said, doubling their speed. After half an hour, they managed to cover almost the entire distance, stopping only 10 miles away to rest for the day. Anko wasn't as strong as Kakashi, so this simple exercise was exhausting for her. Foxy. Let's rest, I have to lie down, said Anko, cursing Naruto's stamina. Okay, we managed to arrive at our destination, I can see the entrance. I'll fix the tent for us, said Naruto, earning Anko's smile, since Naruto also liked their cuddling and possibly his little hand reaching sensitive places. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Anko was watching with pleasure, the 5 Narutos settling everything, and she remembered the time when Umino Iruka said about Naruto's class of graduates. Flashback on Anko, an experienced chunin was found talking to Umino Iruka after the Rookie 9's team assembling. So, Iruka, tell me about these new rookies. Anko-san. Well, Uchiha Sasuke seems to be the strongest with most knowledge about jutsus. Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino, it's hard to tell because they always chase after Sasuke. Hyuga Hinata is smart but very shy. Aburame Shino is very reserved, but he is very smart. Nara Shikamaru is the most intelligent of them all, and Inuzuka Kiba has the energy peculiar to his clan. Last but not least, there is Uzumaki Naruto. He didn't graduate at first, but after Mizuki's little plan to use the boy to steal the Forbidden Scroll, Naruto saved me using a technique far greater than the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Far greater? What do you mean? I didn't know he could do Kage Bunshin, and I don't know a better clone technique than the Kage Bunshin. Yeah, the jutsu is called Tajuo Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. With it, Naruto managed to create a huge army of approximately 200 Narutos and managed to beat Mizuki down to a pulp. Are you serious? Screamed Anko, very surprised. Flashback off when the tent was set, the clones were dispelled and both ninjas went inside to get some sleep. Anko was settling her head in Naruto's chest, feeling the same thing she felt the first time. Before going to sleep, Anko started making conversation with the blonde shinobi. Hey Foxy, what do you think a perfect woman would be? Asked Anko before seeing Naruto entering in a thinking pose. Oh, let me think. The perfect woman for me would have to be strong, determined, self-confident and beautiful. Hair colors, eyes. I am not that selective about women. Anko, after hearing this, got what she wanted to hear. She was thinking about kissing him, but she was not that initiative, but what Naruto said pretty much shot all her willpower to wait some time, and she couldn't hold herself anymore. Anko started looking at his face with amusement. With her hands, she started to caress his whisker marks with very soft hands, earning a smile from Naruto. Naruto, for his part, at first was questioning her intentions, but when she hit that spot, he forgot everything and simply closed his eyes, appreciating Anko's hands immensely. Anko couldn't help but smile upon seeing this. A very powerful shinobi with a demon inside of him could have such a strange weakness, and a very cute one according to her. She was mesmerized upon seeing him such at ease with himself. After a while, she stopped caressing and waited patiently for him to open his blue eyes. After he slowly opened his eyes and mumbled a little moan from the caressing, Naruto was surprised when Anko landed her lips with his in a very passionate kiss. After the initial shock, Naruto returned the kiss, and with his hands, he started to caress her face as well as her neck, finding her weak spot, the area near the curse seal. When he passed his hands at the curse mark, he noticed Anko shivering in delight, making his perverted mind work and move his lips to where the curse seal was and started licking the area with passion. Anko instantly felt an immense wave of pleasure filling her body and started to moan Naruto's name in such a soft and sexy voice that could make any men pass out from nosebleed. At this moment, Anko relaxed her body in a way as to show Naruto that she was his to do what she wanted to do with her. But what Naruto whispered close to her ear, she thought she was going to have an orgasm. No, Anko-chan, remember the pact we made. Even though I would like take you right here right now, when we arrive Konoha, it will be so much better, I can assure you. Oh Kami, this is so good. This guy amazes me to my very soul. He's only 16 and the way he talks, I'm losing my mind right now. Oh Kami. He's right, when we arrive, it will be so much better. Okay Foxy, let's rest for tomorrow. I can't wait for us to go home said Anko, but stopped instantly thinking of Naruto on top of her moaning close to her ear while taking advantage on her nude body. Next day, on the next day, both of them packed and went to complete their mission. Naruto used his ability to sense as much as he could of ninjas guarding the late hideout. After a little search, Naruto managed to find 5 Autonins, being 2 guarding the entrance and the rest just inside. Foxy, can you take those 2 guarding the entrance? Yeah, I can. But near them, there are 3 ninjas, we have to be careful," said Naruto, now entering in mission mode. "Take those 2 and I'll take care of them." With that, Naruto drew his sword and hid his chakra so not to be detected. He ran with great speed to the side of the ninjas and attacked them both with the katana, knocking them out. Anko, as Naruto took care of the first ones, jumped right through the entrance, and sent her snakes to kill the 3 others inside, getting rid of 2, instead. The third one hid himself and attacked behind Anko. Seeing that the auto nin would kill Anko for sure, Naruto channeled chakra on his feet, jumped with great force and impaled his katana through the enemy, killing him for good. "Thanks, Foxy, you saved my life back there," said Anko before becoming wide-eyed with what she saw. Next to her, Naruto was looking forward, but what scared her most were his eyes. Somehow, Naruto's eyes became a darker blue and it was even more hypnotizing than before. Anko didn't know who he was, but he wasn't the Naruto she knew. This one looked like an Anbu captain. "Anko-chan, do not underestimate the enemy," said Naruto, showing a mix of emotions, more like fear of losing her and fear of losing a teammate. "I've never seen these eyes before. He's even more serious than before. When I look at him, I don't see Naruto, I see someone else. This new ninja is even more powerful, it's like he transformed, he is focused purely on the mission and his teammates. Just who the hell is this guy, is he even human? Anko-chan, let's get moving," ordered Naruto, making Anko forget that she was the one responsible for the mission. She forgot that she was a jounin while he was just a chunin, such as how much terrified of him she was. Naruto resembled the figure of a fierce leader who was a powerful ally to his friends and the enemy's worst nightmare. "Oh, okay." With that, Naruto ran to the next hallway and passes through a door where 2 ninjas were located and screamed Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto made 2 clones that took care of the ninjas with advanced taijutsu and a kunai on the hand. Anko went on the other hallway, since they decided to split up and cover more ground. She spotted 3 more ninjas and made some hand seals cat and house kano jutsu, fire style, mythical firebird jutsu. Anko spilled fireballs to every direction, hitting all the 3 guard in the face, burning the hell out of it. Naruto then found 4 more guards and attacked, making hand seals Doton Doryudan no jutsu, earth style, mud dragon jutsu. With that, a dragon head emerged throwing mud balls at the auto nins who didn't have time to react and took the attack straight at the stomach. As Naruto continued moving, he sensed Anko's presence approaching as well as another strong presence as well. After taking care of the guards, Naruto and Anko came upon the vault that seemed to have the document they were searching for. Anko tried to open using some of her previous knowledge, but found that such vault was strange, since there was no lock. Seeing that the answer would be to destroy it, Naruto called her to step aside and made a little Rasengan to act like a power drill. A huge noise was caused by Naruto's technique made contact and caused a big hole on the vault, showing all the documents inside. All seemed pretty useless, except for a black envelope that contained a seal to open. Anko did the necessary hand seal and opened the envelope. The document's title shown Kinjutsu. At Konoha 3 days later, the hidden couple arrived at Tsunade's office so as to present a report for her. Anko, being the one in charge, handed the black envelope to the Hokage and gave her the report. "Mission accomplished, Hokage-sama. Here is the document you requested," reported Anko. "Good job. What a jerk that Orochimaru, always messing around with forbidden techniques. Congratulations, both of you get 1 day off." "Hi, Hokage-sama," said Naruto, vanishing in a little tornado using Fuuden Shunshin no Jutsu, wind style, body flicker jutsu. However, Anko decided to talk to the Hokage about Naruto's transformation during the mission. "Tsunade-sama, may I talk with you about Naruto-kun?" said Anko, now realizing that she added the kun added to his name, much to Tsunade's suspicion. "Sure. What is it?" said Tsunade, wondering about the way Anko addressed Naruto. "When we were inside the hideout, his eyes were different than before. I don't know why, but when the mission started, Naruto was well another person. It was like I was following his orders instead of me being the one in charge. Anko, Naruto changed in a lot of things. Kakashi said so himself. Get some sleep, rest a bit. I'll see you in 2 days," said Tsunade, dismissing Anko before pondering about what Anko saw on Naruto's eyes that she was frightened about it. Tsunade was actually wondering what exactly could fright Anko, seeing that she was the one who pretty much scared anyone. With Naruto on their day off, Naruto was walking on the streets, in order to get something to eat. He was angry, because a carcass was closed, so he had to look for a place to eat. Naruto remembered meeting Anko, near a dango place, so he decided to go there. When he arrived, he felt Anko's presence and smiled. "It seems like we meet again, Anko-chan," said Naruto, entering the restaurant. When he entered, he spotted the purple-haired Konoha drinking some tea with 2 dangos on the plate. "I was wondering when I would ever see you again." Well, if it isn't the hot fox? Came to pay me a visit?" said Anko, smiling deviously towards Naruto. Naruto and Anko shared their meal together, as well as some pervert conversation that resembled Jiraiya's most perverted thoughts. At that time, Tsunade, Shizune and Sakura were resting from their medical training and went for some dango, only to spot Naruto and Anko talking in a very close manner. When seeing, Sakura immediately blushed, realizing the content of the conversation. "It seemed that Naruto learned some things with Jiraiya, after all?" said Shizune. "Some things, sure, but that's all, Naruto." Tsunade confirmed. "Why is he with Anko?" asked Sakura, feeling jealous of the purple-haired jounin. Naruto for his part had already sensed the 3 girls approaching and smiled a bit. Seeing that Naruto was smiling, Anko turned to ask what was it, just for him to say that they would be having an interesting company. After hearing who were them, Anko smiled as well, understanding her role at Naruto's perverted prank that he and Anko was about to show them. "Hokage-sama, you came to pay a visit to me or Naruto?" shouted Anko, never looking at the Hokage, trusting Naruto's chakra signature perception. "How did you notice me, Anko?" asked Tsunade, with some amusement, since only Naruto could do such a thing. "Actually, Foxy here sensed you guys and said to me," said Anko, earning wide eyes from the 3 medic nins. "Now, Sakura, why are you staring at me like that? Jealous, are you? Jealous, that I'll have Foxy here all to myself?" whispered Anko in a mischievous smile, earning a smile from Naruto and blush from the 3 medic nins from realizing what they were about to do. "So, Anko-chan, come on, let's go. It was great seeing you, Tsunade-sama, Shizune-chan, Sakura," said Naruto, before enveloping Anko in a sexy and close hug and vanished using a little tornado, sending little gusts of wind towards the 3 medic nins. At Naruto's apartment, Lemon Sequence, Naruto and Anko teleported to his apartment, as a way of attending the pact they formed back at Rice Country. They went inside and Anko noticed a little bit of clumsiness, seeing some clothes on the floor and some written scrolls. "Make yourself at home, Anko-chan," said Naruto, before seeing Anko lying down on his couch in a very provocative way by taking her trench coat off, showing some skin. "I'm sure I will." Naruto, after that, took off his chunin vest and his rubber blouse, showing the results of hard training, much to Anko's delight. Seeing her new lover's body, Anko went daydreaming and started imagining lots of excited things. As Naruto lied down on top of her, he turned to kiss her passionately as well as caressing her weak spot near the curse seal. Even with just his hands, Anko was already having trouble controlling herself. Seeing this, Naruto decided to go for the decisive blow and started licking the place, earning some deep moans from her as well as freeing the animal inside the cage. Anko instantly flipped over and now she was lying on top of him. She could feel his well-toned muscles as she was passing her hands. As she rested her hands on his whisker marks, he was also beginning to get excited and his hormones were begging to be released. Not wanting to hold anything back, Naruto lost his controls and kissed her with such passion that Anko was struggling to match it. Right now, she was trembling with excitement and she started licking his body very soft, earning some moans from Naruto as she was going south with her tongue. After a while, she reached the beginning of his paints and smiled mischievously, before yanking his trousers and witnessing what will give her 1001 nights of extreme pleasure. Now grabbing Naruto's cock and massaging, she was feeling good that she was the one in control of Naruto right now. She enjoyed such feeling, the feeling of being in control of a powerful man such as him, to hold his cock and show him that she was now running the show. After enjoying the feeling, she engulfed his cock inside her mouth, swallowing it halfway down and then coming back up stopping on his head. As she heard moaning coming from Naruto, she intensified the procedure. After a while of sucking the immense cock, Naruto was having trouble holding from coming right on her face. But it seemed that Anko was looking forward to that, since she was intensifying the ritual. "Anko-chan, can't hold anymore. I'm coming," said Naruto, now losing his mind while sending gusts of cum inside her mouth, much to Anko's delight, seeing that she was trying to swallow everything. Now even though Anko liked the feeling of being in charge of things, what she desired the most was someone proving her wrong and Naruto did just that. After he came, he flipped her once again and ripped her remaining clothes leaving her entirely naked and even more turned on than before. "Oh, Cammy, "Possess me, Naruto-kun," said Anko, licking her lips in total ecstasy. In what could be better described as Jiraiya's most perverted books, Naruto started licking Anko's pussy, earning more moans on her part. Anko, for her part, was losing her mind faster than before. She was loving the feeling of being controlled like that, and Naruto's tongue inside her was unbelievable. Anko was now moaning loud and started begging for Naruto to just stick it inside her and just ravage her. "Naruto-kun, please, I can't take it anymore, please fuck me, I beg you. I can't hold anymore." Not being one to complain, Naruto did just that and started to put it in slowly. Anko right now pretty much forgot about everything. The only thing left on her mind was how Naruto's cock seemed to be filling every inch of her interior wall like that. As Naruto was pounding inside her, she was screaming his name with such vigor that could be heard all the way to Kumo. These two were like animals having sex, each of them were focusing only on pleasuring the other with every way possible. Anko was straightening her inner walls as to make Naruto's cock even harder, and Naruto was going deeper as to reach the bottom of it. After 30 minutes of intercourse, both of them were sweating like two animals in bed. Anko and Naruto were on the verge of having an explosive orgasm, but when Naruto decided to use chakra, Anko lost her mind. The feeling was so good that she was now thanking Kami for such stamina. "Harder, Naruto-kun, harder. Oh sweet Kami, I'm coming. I'm coming. Oh my god, Anko-chan, I can't hold on any longer, oh my god, I'm coming." After the birth control jutsu, Naruto and Anko came together, before resting on top of each other, panting in exhaustion from the rough sex they had together. Needless to say, both of them were extremely happy with each other. After the moment, Anko and Naruto drift off to deep sleep with both smiles visible on their faces. But while Naruto was sleeping soundly, Anko was lying on his chest, wondering about the sudden events that surfaced since the Chunin exams until now. She was remembering first seeing Naruto 3 years ago, when he was just a noisy brat. She then remembered when he appeared 3 years later at the last Chunin exams, with a whole different appearance, more masculine, handsome, and experienced. Everything was different about him. Anko then looked at his face and wondered how he could change so much, not only in appearance but in personality, was unbelievable to her. Then their first mission together, where they met each other for real, with each of them sharing their inner secrets, somehow not even caring about letting out something so deep inside, which happened to cause damages beyond a normal person's belief. Anko was pondering about something she long ago concluded. It was after she was retrieved from the hands of Orochimaru by the Anbu tracking team. She was able to get the confidence of the Sun Daime Hokage and was able to rise to Tokubutsu Jounin in almost record time. But since her incident with the snake Sannin, Anko vowed to never have feelings for anyone ever again. That's why all she did, that being scary and playing her role as Konoha's bitch, was just an act in order to keep everyone away from reaching her heart, which was her weakest spot of all. But now, she ended up breaking such a promise when she let Naruto into her life, and she was afraid, to say the least. Anko believed deep inside that everyone hated her, and the only ones who tried to lure her with good deeds or anything, was just so to get close to her and end up hurting her or worse. She couldn't for her sake know what happened with her inner defenses when it came to the blonde Chunin. Something about him, that Anko felt at peace, so to say. Like her, Naruto knew all the suffering and hatred that Konoha could offer for the ones who made them suffer greatly, but for Naruto and Anko's situation, their hatred from Konoha's civilization was because of acts made by Kyuubi and Orochimaru. Anko couldn't help but marvel at the display of Naruto's deep, piercing and yet innocent blue eyes. It was like she could look at them and just feel content with herself. Then she remembered his eyes went on their mission and shivered at the sight. Naruto's eyes changed somewhat, but it wasn't the eye color that changed or anything visible. It was the feeling that those who looked straight at him could sense. Anko felt fear for the first time in her life after Orochimaru, and that fact alone frightened her to the bone. She didn't want to fall in love with Naruto. Even though he somehow urged some deep and buried feelings within her, her mind would just drift to the past and remember all the experiments and when the snake Sannin put the curse seal inside her. Anko was in turmoil right now, and the reason of course being to trust or not to trust the blonde Chunin Naruto. When he wasn't on a mission, Naruto had the most beautiful eyes she had ever seen in her life, but when in a mission, she couldn't help but shiver from her memories of Naruto's eyes. As she lifted off his chest, she turned to look at the figure sleeping peacefully on the bed inside. He looked so at peace with himself, it's almost as if the fox wasn't even around. Now picturing having the nine-tailed demon inside Naruto, Anko kind of understood the reason behind Naruto's mission eyes. She was remembering that at first she felt afraid of such a display that looked like the eyes of a killer. Imagine Badosai's eyes when he's focused on killing, but as the mission progressed, she realized that such eyes were diverted to the enemy and no one else. Anko remembered the Hokage talking about Naruto and the fact that the man, not boy, changed a lot, but even she, who happened to consider Naruto as a part of her family, could identify this new Naruto. In fact, if one person were to know about how Naruto changed, it was his sensei Hokage Kakashi. Considering about talking to the silver-haired Jounin in the morning, she leant her head on Naruto's chest and got back to sleep, feeling somewhat warm inside when she was close to him. On the next day when the sunlight came into Naruto's room, Anko woke up and left the apartment slowly, since she didn't want to wake him, as well as the fact that Anko didn't want for Naruto to know where she was going. She considered leaving a note for him not to worry about her, and so she picked up a blank scroll that was lying on top of Naruto's dining table and wrote a few lines, just so he wouldn't worry about her or even try to find her, at least not until she talked with the scarecrow Jounin. After some fast writing, she left and closed the door slowly, before jumping to the ground in order to start her pace forward Kakashi's apartment, which she knew where it was from having to see why he was late sometimes when going on a mission with him. But as her mind was wondering about what to ask, Anko hadn't noticed a red-eyed Jounin that happened to be close to Naruto's apartment and got to see a strange-looking Anko, leaving Naruto's apartment, like she spent the night there. Upon seeing that, Kurenai smiled for her friend. Even though Anko was rather distant from her, not ever letting Kurenai reach out for her, she knew that deep inside Anko considered her a friend, and that eventually she would come forward and tell what her heart feels or how much she has suffered through life. Kurenai knew that if someone suffered as much as Anko, said person was Naruto, and the fact that Naruto held the most feared creature that ever came to Konoha, it was safe to say that Anko only suffered as much as Naruto up to some extent, but never just like him. Kurenai smiled at the sight of both of them together as a couple, since she didn't mind seeing that their age gap were different. Naruto has demonstrated such experience lately that Kurenai wondered if he wasn't lying his true age from people. Kakashi's apartment. Kakashi was having the time of his life. Just yesterday, he was able to acquire the newest version of the Icha Icha series, and he was having a blast, while jumping through the pages and giggling like a schoolgirl. But like all times, such times seems to not last very long, as a fierce knock on the door was heard and Kakashi had to hide his book for a while. As Kakashi went towards the door, he was thinking that Naruto was the one who wanted to talk to him about something, or maybe Tsunade sending someone for another mission for him, but he was surprised to hear the voice of none other than Mitarashi Anko yelling him to open the door in a very well Anko-like manner. Sighing, Kakashi opened the door, earning a little punch on his face since Anko, while slamming the door fiercely, wasn't paying attention and hit the Jounin dead on. "Ah Anko, nice to see you too. You didn't have to punch me in the face, I was just going to open the door, oh so have you know," said Kakashi, rubbing his left cheek from the incident. "Sorry about that. Anyway Kakashi, I have to talk to you about something. It involves your student and the mess he created," mumbled Anko, not entirely sure whether to tell the Jounin or decide to change the subject, since she wasn't entirely comfortable sharing what happened with the man that happened to consider Naruto his little brother. "Sure Anko-san, please come in. Tell me, what did he do to you, that make you so rowdy at this time of day?" asked Kakashi, displaying a face that looked like he was thinking of something else entirely and not even paying attention to Anko, much to Anko's dismay and slight anger. "Wake up, damn it. I want to talk to you, not seeing you sleep while I'm here talking," screamed Anko, managing to wake up Kakashi and shift away his thoughts of what would happen after the scene where the couple just had their first time sex. "What, okay Anko-san, tell me, what do you want to talk about, Naruto?" asked Kakashi, to which Anko started telling him all that had transpired on their mission, while seeing Kakashi's jaw dropping inch by inch as Anko was reporting her so-called relationship with Naruto. "So, are you saying that you Mitarashi Anko just had sex with my student Uzumaki Naruto, and on top of that may well start having feelings for him?" asked Kakashi, feeling somewhat vaguely familiar with such a story from his new book, but also remembering Naruto talking about her. "It's not about that, you pervert freak. I want to ask you about Naruto's eyes. There is something to those that manage to put some dangerous senses inside my body, and I don't know what to make out of those," said Anko, to which Kakashi sighed, knowing what Anko was referring to Naruto's eyes, as he saw the same thing on their missions together. "Anko-san, tell me, when you saw Naruto's eyes, did you manage to see what appeared to be a light blue light on the corner of his eyes?" asked Kakashi, now being serious all of a sudden. "As a matter of fact, I did Kakashi. What is that? When I looked at it, it's like Naruto is a new man. It seemed like he was a veteran killer or something like that," said Anko, while witnessing Kakashi in a thinking pose while remembering seeing such eyes on the mission that Naruto was capturing the Suna missing nins. "I don't know what it is, but definitely is not a dojutsu, but I share your concern, as I as well felt the same thing upon looking at Naruto's eyes, but I believe your description fit nicely, Anko-san. Indeed, it felt like he was a true killer, but I didn't feel any malice towards me at all, but rather the enemy," said Kakashi, who appeared to be thinking out loud, but actually Anko was considering those very words. "Kakashi, tell me about Naruto's sudden change, I was wondering about that as well. How the hell could he change so much?" asked Anko before seeing a happy smile from Kakashi, seeing as he happened to witness most of his students' changes and was happy to share such a story with her. "Well, it all started when Kakashi began telling about Naruto's failed mission to retrieve Sasuke and took the blame, and then he told her about his duo-elemental affinity training and Chunin exams. Kakashi ended up telling Anko about Naruto's little rampart episode some time ago when he happened to leak some of the Kyuubi's chakra, while showing to everyone how terrifying were to be in his shoes while growing up, leaving a wide-eyed Anko who had her suspicions about that being Naruto, but never had proof, just to know now that that was a result of Kakashi telling him about Obito and the failure in comparison between Kakashi's past and Naruto's, disengaging Naruto's control over the beast, since Naruto couldn't hold such negative emotions any longer, having to release it somehow. Anko was seeing the smile upon Kakashi's face, when he talked about the fact that it was Naruto who saved him for feeling miserable over the loss of Kakashi's teammates and his sensei, which was by the way the Yondaime Hokage. Seeing that Anko got her answers and reached a conclusion about what to do about Naruto, she thanked the Scarecrow Jounin for his assistance and smiled, telling him that she could very well see Naruto's smile got to him and that if Naruto could save Kakashi like he did, he could very well save her as well for her nightmare. At Naruto's apartment it was close to 10 and Naruto woke up to see that Anko wasn't there with him. Not bothered to look around since his apartment wasn't that big and the only place that she could be was empty, that being the bathroom, which door was wide open. As Naruto woke up, he went to the refrigerator and grabbed some milk for breakfast. After seating near the table, he came upon a scroll with just 3 of 4 lines written. Upon close inspection, Naruto saw Anko's name signing the scroll and turned to read the message. "Hey Foxy, I needed to take care of something really early. I had a great time yesterday." Anko, not being one to express much of her feelings, thought Naruto as he read the note. Thinking about it, Naruto turned to smash his head on the wall, from not knowing it was actually sort of a first date kind of thing and that they ended up making love in the end. Deciding not to think about it and make a decision to find her sometime today. After doing some morning rituals known to all, Naruto left his house and headed for a training ground nearby. At the training ground as he arrived, he turned to seat on the ground and just meditates on something. First of all, he wanted to improve what seemed to be his inner ground chakra sensor by trying to understanding a bit more about earth manipulation. Closing his eyes, he focused Doden chakra through his body so as to get a feeling of the ground beneath him. So far, he was only able to focus on inner ground perception up to a certain amount of time before losing control and sort of cutting the mental link. Naruto needed a technique that could grant him access below the ground, this way he could get a close grip on inner ground chakra sensor better. Seeing that he wouldn't do any good just being there, Naruto decided to do some research at the library to see if such technique existed. At the library, after greeting the librarian, Naruto asked for all Doden and Jutsu scrolls. Not wanting to take all of them, since they were quite a few with surprisingly were authored by the damn perverted of a Sannin who by the way has a Doden affinity, much to Naruto's dismay since the jackass could at least try to teach him elemental ninjutsu. Putting the past in the past, Naruto turned to look through the Doden scrolls. After about half of them were done, Naruto was fuming with rage. He couldn't find such technique and wondered if such technique is due to be invented or was on the other scrolls. 2 or 3 scrolls later, Naruto seemed to hit the jackpot. He found a technique called Doden Dochu Aigyo no Jutsu, Earth Style, Underground Fish Projection Jutsu, and turned to read the description. It turned out was a C-rank ninjutsu in which the shinobi could fuse his body below the ground or inside a tree or rather inside a wall. Naruto grinned, knowing that such technique if learned correctly, could lead to a better understanding of the ground and that his senses would be improved greatly. Selecting such scroll, Naruto went to the librarian so he could borrow in order to practice the technique. Already with scroll in tow, Naruto left the library and went straight to the training ground, so he could take a look at the scroll and see how such technique worked. Naruto appeared on the same training ground there he was before, but now sitting down and started reading it. At the training ground it was almost lunch hour and Naruto was right now testing his technique. He already read the scroll twice in a way to learn how is such procedure. The scroll didn't reveal much, it said only to focus Doden chakra and get the part of the body that you wanted to mix with the ground, wall or tree. Since Doden wasn't one of Naruto's chakra affinities, he was having trouble trying to perform. Right now, Naruto was in trance about doing the damn technique that he failed to sense Yamato looking on him from a tree nearby. With Yamato, he has been thinking about their last encounter as he was sure it didn't end well, but now that he saw what Naruto could do in such little time, he began to wonder if what everyone was telling the truth about him being underestimated by the boy's so-called teachers and the fact that neither of them taught him much. Sighing where he was, he realized that he was being too harsh on the boy. Being a perfectionist in battle, Yamato made it to Anbu with professional skills, but he was an Anbu and here he was judging a Jinan now Chunin's abilities compared to his own. Somehow, Yamato expected for Naruto to be Anbu level because of his high chakra level and the ability to learn high-level ninjutsu and never-ending stamina. By seeing Naruto, Yamato could very well see one thing: Naruto was having difficulties at whichever Doden ninjutsu he was trying to learn. Being a Mukuten user that happens to be a mix between Suten and Doden, Yamato could very well be a good help for Naruto to learn. But, deep inside he was thinking if Naruto would accept the man's apologies. Yamato didn't know if Naruto would still be hostile towards him or not. Sighing, since he didn't want to think much on the matter, just went close to Naruto, who by the way managed to take a look at the Anbu, knowing that it was Yamato since he could feel Yamato's chakra. "I know you know who I am, Naruto. I came here to apologize to you for my judgment. I'm sorry for expecting too much of you and ended up criticizing you more than anything. I know for a fact that you were able to become much stronger these days, since you managed to earn the position of Chunin," said Yamato, trying to study the sudden eye change from Naruto, which from his experience in battle, Yamato already was waiting for an attack which fortunately never came. Naruto was feeling better about what happened some time ago, but when their last encounter came to his mind, such thoughts ruined it all. "You don't need to apologize to me. I actually got to thank you for doing what you did. Without you, I would still be that obnoxious kid who couldn't do anything without depending on someone else," said Naruto, still not looking entirely at the Anbu, but the hate sure was gone. "I can see that you are learning Doden ninjutsu now. Which technique are you trying to accomplish? Maybe I can help you with?" asked Yamato, though that was his true intention all along. "It's called Doden Dochu Uigyo, but I'm having trouble in focusing Doden chakra rather than my two affinities Fuuten and Suten." After some explaining about Naruto's jutsu, Yamato entered his thinking mode and started going through ways of helping the Kyuubi vessel. While he didn't know what to do, he thought about revise what was Naruto expected to do and see if he was doing something wrong about performing the jutsu. When Naruto tried the last time, Yamato was able to see that Naruto's chakra upon his hand was touching the ground, seemed to just stop channeling, but he believed it was a subconscious level. "Naruto, I noticed that when you almost reached the ground, subconsciously you stopped to channel chakra, rendering the technique useless. Just try to focus chakra all the way down and then we go from there," said Yamato as he explained the technique to Naruto, who were only focused on the advice, not the teacher that so happened to underestimate him once back then. When Naruto's hand touched the ground this time, Naruto was surprised to see his hand apparently sinking into the ground, showing that he at least managed to get the basics of the technique. Yamato looked at it with interest. He somehow knew that this was Naruto's first attempts at the technique and he got it this far. It was nothing short of amazing. Yamato was comparing Naruto to some Anbu comrades and the time it took for them to learn a C-rank ninjutsu that wasn't linked to their element, and he had to admit that very few ninjas could do that, and those who could, it took them at least 2 days, where Naruto managed to learn it in just 1. After some more tries, Naruto managed to sink his entire body below the ground and appeared again on the surface, while smiling towards Yamato, making Yamato look at him with surprise. He knew that Naruto was pissed at him for what he did to him, but he figured that he was still furious after all. To see that Naruto was smiling, Yamato sighed, thinking that Naruto was kind of addicted to learning new techniques, and Yamato considered Naruto wanted to be a ninjutsu specialist in the future. "Good job, Naruto. Now I must head back to headquarters. Continue practicing the technique. If you need any help, reach for me at headquarters, Johnny," greeted Yamato, before disappearing in a swirl of leaves, leaving Naruto supposedly alone at the training ground, but he knew 2 people were watching him and he very well knew who they were. From a little distance, Anko and Kakashi stood there watching Yamato's sudden change of hearts and taught a Doden technique to Naruto. Kakashi smiled, knowing Naruto had such ability. He could bring the best in anyone, hence how he changed the snake mistress Mitarashi Anko. By seeing the way Anko was looking at Naruto, Kakashi could only smile at seeing something he thought he would never see. Anko's smiling, but apart from her mischievous smile covered with deception all over, this one was a genuine one. It was like Anko was looking at the blonde with infinite pride for being with him. Anko for her part managed to see Naruto learning the technique and smiled, not even knowing the way she smiled, which was different from the times she showed a smirk that was prior to one hell of a beating afterwards. Anko, after talking to Kakashi, wasn't frightened anymore of Naruto's eyes and could very well see his determination towards becoming stronger. Little did she know that Naruto's prankster side kicked in already and a devious smirk was noticeable through his features. Kakashi managed to see it because of the Sharingan he activated to see which technique Naruto was learning before and wondered if he managed to sense him in Anko. Naruto for his part had a plan and the target was none other than Anko. Actually, Naruto was overestimating just how much his appearance would call her attention, but if it worked, it would leave the snake mistress with the jaw open and maybe a little nosebleed because of it. Not wanting to let them know that he already sensed them, Naruto feigned being tired and started taking off his vest and the top part of his uniform, showing a well-toned body, easily noticeable muscle features running through his arms, legs, chest and abdomen. Upon seeing this, Anko started to open her mouth in awe at such a sight. She was beginning to drool for Naruto's body and images appeared inside her mind of Naruto's body on top of her, making her moan like crazy. Because of that, Anko was found having difficulties for controlling herself and not jump on him and have one more wild and rough sex with the blonde who, according to Anko, couldn't be more perfect. Kakashi for his part, turned to look at Anko and managed to sense some pheromones exhaling from her body and turned to see what she was looking at that was causing this and smiled mischievously, thinking of it as an introduction scene from the Icha Icha series. Seeing that he didn't belong to the place, Kakashi smiled before leaving in a swirl of leaves, leaving a drooling Anko who didn't even notice that Kakashi was gone. Her eyes and attention were all focused on Naruto's top naked body and picturing how he could just pleasure her once again with his body on top of her. At Tsunade's office doing her paperwork, Tsunade was starting to feel like practicing some katanjutsus using paper as targets. She sighed, seeing a huge pile on top of her desk and wished someone else who'd do this type of thing. She was bored out of her mind and she would kill for finding something better to do than doing boring paperwork. Seriously, why again did I take this damn job while I could gamble and drink all the time? Taking a break, she turned to take a look at the village from the Hokage's office. She managed to see some children playing around inside, remembering of a certain blonde that didn't have any of what the kids are doing now. She shivered once again, since she never knew how it was not to have a childhood, always running from mobs of people, apathy eyes and the villagers' hatred towards him. Tsunade came to consider Naruto her family and she was suffering for the boy. Moreover, she was wondering about Naruto's mental stability, since anyone with half as much of suffering, could very well commit seppuku with good enough reason to it. Deciding on a little espionage to see what he was doing or how he was, she picked Sarutobi's crystal ball and did the jutsu necessary for the ball to show her the needed image. But what she saw, it was nothing close to what she was prepared to witness. At the training ground, having waited enough, Anko decided to appear near Naruto, therefore, completing his objective that was make her came at him. Upon turning to see her, Naruto turned to just study Anko's eyes, body expression, everything. Normally, any man who checked Anko out, such guy would be sent to the hospital from blood loss. But Anko this time was different. She was smiling, but this time she was picturing him entirely naked, possessing her like no one did before. Anko was famous from handling with men, scaring them, hurting them, but she liked more to be handled. She appreciated a man who had the balls to approach her and stand up to her. And Naruto did even more than that. When they made sex, Anko was as loss of words at Naruto taking control of the situation the way he did and just ravaged her in the most sexy way possible. "So, Anko-chan, appreciating the view, I presume?" asked Naruto, smiling seeing his plan worked, but Anko wasn't any other person and she would have another go with the Chunin. "I'm sure am, Naru-kun, but I was remembering how you behave in bed and I was wondering if you would be so kind and take care of little old me one more time, just like before," said Anko, licking her lips, being already turned on with all the teasing courtesy of Uzumaki Naruto. "Oh, I see you're turned on, Anko-hime. I do believe I'll have to take care of you in a way that you'd rather enjoy. Why don't you come here, so I can treat you nicely as well as show you a good time right here," said Naruto, now calling her bluff, but also turned on as well, wanting Anko right there. Anko smiled and started walking towards him slowly, while swinging her hips in a very seductive manner. Upon arrival, Anko embraced Naruto and gave him a passionate kiss, and like this they stayed for a good 5 minutes, while Anko's hand was passing through Naruto's arms and chest. Anko was having the time of her life, the kiss was electrifying and his body was just magnificent. She could feel his muscles and started imagining him being all sweaty from a fierce training. But while they were going at it, Someone was watching wide-eyed as well as jaws practically on the ground. At the Hokage's office, Tsunade was looking at the scene, not at all believing what was passing on the crystal ball. At first, the ball showed Naruto without his vest and the upper part of his uniform while talking to Anko, who was looking at Naruto as if she was about to jump on him and have sex with the blonde. At first, Tsunade thought about the snake's audacity while taking advantage of Naruto while he was training, but that went straight outside when she heard it was Naruto who was teasing and flirting with the snake mistress, to which she responded by smiling deviously. When Anko turned to kiss Naruto while embracing him, Tsunade was at loss of words at the scene. Here it was the once obnoxious kid giving pleasure to a woman older than him, no less. Tsunade was pondering on continuing this, seeing that it was Naruto after all and he was considered family to her, but as she continued to see the scene, something inside her which was long asleep, after Dan was killed. Tsunade was getting turned on by the scene, which by now, Naruto took Anko's coat off, while rubbing his hands through her sexy body and ending on her tits, massaging them smoothly. Tsunade was for the first time losing control of her body. She was considering touching herself in her private area and massage nicely, but fought to compose herself since she was at a public place and Shizune could enter any minute now. After some minutes, she was beginning to sweat and some pressure needed to be released. She was watching Naruto now on top of Anko, now caressing her body slowly with his tongue, making Anko moan Naruto's name in one of the sexiest voice she could muster, which managed to awake Naruto's inner beast. True to Tsunade's thinking, Shizune barged in her office, only to see a very attentive Tsunade staring at the Sundaime's crystal ball. As she walked closely to see what's going on, she immediately dropped a scroll she was reading on the floor, awaking Tsunade from the trance of seeing Anko in Naruto's private moment. "Tsunade-sama, what the hell is this? Oh my god, I mean Naruto-kun and Anko-san having, oh my," mumbled Shizune that last part, since like the Hokage, Shizune didn't even had sex since she left the village being just 12 and followed Tsunade after she lost Dan. Shizune was at first like Tsunade about not wanting to see Naruto like this, since they were like family, but somehow the scene had just awoke something inside Shizune and she was beginning to feel the temperature rising all of a sudden, and then she entered in trance at the sight of Naruto now licking Anko all over her body and hearing Anko losing her mind in the process. Shizune and Tsunade were in trance, seeing it, and just now wished some action like that as well. "Shizune, could you please lock the door? I don't want anyone entering here and see us spying such a wonderful love-making sequence," said Tsunade, whispering the last part, which Shizune nodded and went towards the door to lock, and returned to see that Anko and Naruto were enrolled in a position that both of them were giving pleasure to each other. After some time and a few moans from Anko, Tsunade and Shizune were already exhaling pheromones, and if one man suddenly entered the place, he would be very lucky. Right now, Shizune picked a chair and sat next to Tsunade as her legs were getting loose. After she positioned herself to a good seat right in front of the show, both Tsunade and Shizune were at a sudden loss of what to say, think or feel, upon seeing Naruto pleasuring Anko by sticking his inside her with considerable extent, making Anko now scream for him to continue and increase the pace. Shizune was right now questioning her sister-type relationship with Naruto from seeing him and Anko going at it. Tsunade for her part was showing signs of losing control and start rubbing her body a little bit. She was sweating like a pig because of the intensity. A little more and she would lost it and screw the consequences, but she was safe when she saw Naruto and Anko finish the act in extreme bliss with each other. After that, Tsunade cut the chakra on the energy ball, and for 5 minutes both women were in deep thinking pose. Shizune felt ashamed but still turned on by such display. Ashamed since she not only watched her so-called brother having hot sex with the snake mistress and for a second wishing it was her. Tsunade for her part was astounded by Naruto's sex abilities, and the way he gave pleasure to Anko was nothing less of a master in the making. He was smooth, patient, considerable of her feelings in the process, and savage when appropriated. The girls were considering about seeing the blonde after what they saw, and safe to say none of them would look at Naruto or Anko in the eyes anymore, at least for a few time. At the training ground right now, Anko and Naruto were lying down with Anko on her favorite spot, Naruto's chest. She was picturing the great sex they had, and she was in cloud 9 right now. All the teasing, then the slightly more perverted moves, finishing with Naruto filling her inside, while making her have one of the greatest moans she ever had. Naruto for his part, was smiling from ear to ear. The reason is that his relationship with Anko was progressing. "Naru-kun, I've got to admit something to you. When we were at our mission together, I managed to catch a glimpse of your eyes and scared the shit out of me. For a moment, I couldn't breathe because of the killing intent. But, since such energy was focused on the enemies, I was relieved, though images from your eyes being that way again. It got me scared by you," said Anko, earning surprising look from Naruto, who by now guessed that an explanation is in order. "Since you know about him, QB, it's all his idea. When I channel regular chakra through my eyes, it's kind of a fusion between my blue eyes and QB's bloodlust eyes and the killing intent I send towards the enemy, not my friends and comrades. You shouldn't be afraid, I'd never do anything to harm you," said Naruto, making Anko feel even more for the blonde. After that, Naruto and Anko talked about such a use of this abilities and she was wondering about the possibilities.
That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.